Yeah, thank you everyone for your time. Hello everyone, my name is James Oluwole, and I'm excited to have you all join us in our James Oluwole Leadership Masterclass again today, being the 13th day of July 2025. It's been a great time. It's been a great moment, and I'm super excited to see as many as are beginning to drop their messages on the chat box from where they are joining from. Mr. Samson from Mozambique, Ibrahim from Ghana, Motola from Mozambique, Mrs. Cassandra also from Mozambique, and a phone number with Samsung also from Ghana, and many other people, Fideli and others also are joining. Madam Blessing also from Ghana. Thank you all for joining. We also have on the WhatsApp platform, people are beginning to join. I see Mrs. Candy, Mr. Daniel, a team, thank you so much for joining. And it's great having us all join the James Olo Leadership. And I'm excited again that we are starting another new topic. This is fresh. And today we are looking at the leader's motive. And I'm excited to have many of us joining on this topic. And I believe that many are already in their leadership level, and there are many also that are emerging leaders. And as we engage today, I am rest assured that it's going to be intriguing, it's going to be exciting. And for all of our viewers also that will be joining or listening to this podcast, I can assure you that this is going to be a worthwhile time with you. We have the next 1 hour, 20 minutes for our sections. As usual, we'll have between 40 minutes there to 50 minutes for my presentation, and we will take questions. And I will encourage for as many as would have questions, kindly drop your questions on the Zoom chat box. And if you also want to ask your questions directly during the time, please, you'll be granted that time. And welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, you can always access our you can also access us on our YouTube channel at the James Oluwole Leadership YouTube channel. All of our videos are there. And there is an exciting platform also we have on WhatsApp, where we have a group of professionals and like-minded individuals that we meet, we share knowledge and all of that. And I'm encouraging everyone to be part of us, be part of what we're doing in trying to transform ourselves in our career, in our business, in our ministry. This is for everybody. And I'm really, really excited that you are all joining today. So in this topic of the leadership motive, let me start by way of introduction. And I'm starting by saying that I'm excited to commence the teaching on leadership, focusing on the motives of why leaders lead. In early years of my career, starting as an intern during my National Youth Service, and you can see me on my National Youth Service wears, and subsequently also into my full-time employment, I have had the opportunity of working with several leaders directly and indirectly, and notice that each of them have a different leadership style and decision-making approach. Though I was young, with no experience in leadership, I could identify some of the leaders whose attitudes is much focused towards the growth of the organization, and other leaders' attitude are focused on their personal interests. I saw how people misuse their position of leadership for their personal advantage against the values and the culture of the organization. Many leaders have frustrated their employees and exposed the organization to major risks, wastage of the organization resources with lack of remorsefulness by such leaders. To my amazement, rather than the organization to exit such people from the organization, I noticed they were being promoted to even higher positions. Many of them were given good pay packages. Many of them begin to receive high benefit, even when it is obvious that their leadership is questionable. And we've seen this across board in organization, in ministries, in government parastatals across the world. Leadership is beginning to had always been an issue in the front line, and it will continue to be. And if you look at even in our days today, many have exposed systems and organization into higher risks, exposing people into a greater negative impact. Many leaders, as a result of their leadership, they have led organization to crumbling. They were given a stable system. They were given a stable organization. And after a few years, man, the kind of challenges that the organization had faced as a result of the challenges of the leaders is overwhelming to the level that some organizations have to go bankrupt, some organizations have to close up, some organizations have to wind up. That tells you the motives behind leadership. And that tells you the importance of why we are engaging today on this important subject. Many people will even be arrogant and would not even show any level of humbleness to learn from their errors, even as a result of they leading an organization the wrong way. And they would even be telling their colleagues and friends that, oh, the reason I didn't perform well is because the organization did not give me the platform to do well. They transfer responsibility to others and will never take responsibility. And these are the challenges. You know, I am also a faith person. I am one who loves church. I love the things of God. And from childhood, I am privileged to have parents that have shown us to church, and I go to church very well. And in that regard, I also get closer to church leaders. And with my amazement, I have seen some pastors, church leaders that have led well. In fact, they lead to the level that there is a great growth in those churches, in those religious gatherings. There are different kind of events to the point that you just want to make the church your home. And all of a sudden, they get transferred. They get moved to another location, and you kind of feel that, oh, I want to go after them. And they bring another leader or another church leader, and unfortunately, it becomes the direct opposite. And they begin to lead wrong. They begin to lead with a wrong motive, and you are surprised that a church that is thriving begins to have reduced members, begins to have disunity, and not functioning well. These are the challenges we see in our days. The same also applies to leaders at our schools, at our communities, at the political level, at the institutions. We are having many that are not leading well. Nations are being affected. Economic situations is increasing as a result of poor leadership. I guess if I ask many of us today, you also will have a share of your story to tell me how you have encountered and experienced different kind of leaders that have led depending on how they feel they should lead. And when you dig deep into, you see that there are challenges in their leadership. Over 15 years in my career, with about 10 years in leadership, I have come to realize that a leader's motive is very critical in how successful the organization and its employee becomes. In every sector, the best way you can see the growth of an organization is through leadership. For the organization to achieve its objective and goals, the leader is key. And this is why John Maxwell used the word, everything rises and falls on leadership. And to be honest with you, I strongly believe that statement. Leadership is culture of the organization. And leaders are influential in directing the path of the organization to success or failure. So if you look at your life today, I can tell you with every aspect that the level of influence you've had and to the level of growth you have had and success and achievement to some extent also could be as a result of the leaders around you. If unfortunately you've not had the best kind of leaders, it may have affected your performance. It may have affected your ability to have become the best of you. Now, I'm not saying the leaders have a full responsibility, because each of us, we have our choices, but leaders have that, they are able to influence decision. They are able to influence their people. They are able to direct the path. And just like Samadhi says, he said leadership is about movement. You move person from point A to point B. So if a leader had wrongly moved you, ignorantly, or even as a result of you putting your trust into them, I can tell you it would have a greater impact in where you are today as compared to where you ought to have been. When the motive of a leader is not aligned with the goal and the vision of any organization or institutions, chaos and disaster is inevitable. I just wanted to understand that when the motive of a leader is not aligned with the goals and the vision of any organization or institution, chaos and disaster is inevitable. Therefore, the purpose for this masterclass is to expose us to the motives behind the leader's action and how we can improve in having the right motive to leadership towards effective leadership and creating sustainable impact to our teams and the organization, and also achieving fulfillment as individuals. This is what this section is about. This is what this masterclass is about. The motive and the objective of this masterclass is to expose us to us to understand what are the motives behind leadership. Why are you leading? Why am I leading? What is the motive behind leading? Is my motive towards ensuring effective leadership? Is my motive towards empowering people to become the best of them? Is my motive as a leader towards seeing that I am held accountable towards the objectives and goals of the organization? Or is my motive about just me? Is my motive about my personal interest? Is my motive about all that I'm just here to get? Not minding whatever impact it may have, whether positive or negative impact to others. The motive of individuals determines how they lead, whether they lead right or they lead wrong. Now, quickly, what is leadership again? Leadership is the ability to guide, to influence, and inspire individuals or group towards the achievement of common goals or objectives. That is what leadership is. Your ability to inspire, your ability to influence people, your ability to move people from point A to point B with the objectives of achieving a goal. It also involves moving people from one end to the other with clarity of vision and accomplishment of purpose towards impacting lives. Effective leadership, it involves motivating and empowering others, fostering collaboration, and creating a supportive environment while navigating challenges and driving change. Now, the question is that when we understand what the leaders are and the definition of a leader, now let's ask ourselves, and I just want you to have some thoughts within you, that have you been leading the best way according to this definition? Have you led people with clarity? Have you led people with vision? Have you led people with a clear goal? Do you communicate your goals? Do you communicate your vision? Is your vision in alignment to the vision of the organization? Is your goal in alignment to the goals of the organization? What is the motive behind your leadership? Why are you leading? Why am I leading? This is a call for every one of us to have a retrospect, to have a depth of review within us. Because let me be honest with you, many times we blame those above us, but leadership starts with you. Leadership starts with me. We need to assess ourselves and ask ourselves these honest questions. Am I leading well? Am I leading right? Why am I leading? And it even starts from our homes, as parents, as adults within a community. You don't need to hold a position to be a leader. You don't need to be in an having an authority to be a leader. In your community, who as much as you can influence somebody, you're already leading them. Are you influencing people with the right motives? Are you influencing people with the right intention? Are you influencing people with the goal towards ensuring that the purpose of that influence is for the bigger goal, towards contribution and impact, and not just to yourself? And this is what we mean by effective leadership. Unfortunately, some leaders are manipulators. Some leaders are deceptive. Some leaders, they are never ready to lead with authenticity. Are you that kind of a leader? Am I that kind of a leader? If we go and do an assessment of your leadership, what would be the outcome and the result today? Integrity has become a challenge in leadership. Excellence has become a problem in leadership. People are not leading with excellence. There is so much of mediocrity. There is so much of nonchalancy, no excellence. And when you call leaders to action, they even get angry. You know, when things are not done well, and people that you expect that they would even appreciate feedback, they rather see feedback from a negative perspective. Are you that kind of a leader? There are many leaders that are not leading with sacrifice. They are not ready to sacrifice. There are many leaders that they are not growing. They are not learning. Everything about growth and development is not part of them. They just believe in doing one thing and one way, or not realizing that change is a constant thing in life. Many leaders, they fail to understand that people will buy into them first and trust them before they buy into their vision. I want you to know, and look, when we're talking about leadership, even if it's a business that you have, you may have that your short, small business, that your enterprise. How are you leading yourself? What is your motive in that small enterprise? It may be your company, yes. Because you see, the way you lead that business will determine how you will lead people that are working under you. Many people are not taking their business serious. They are just, the reason they open the business is just for them to have their daily income, and that is all. They are not thinking about excellent service delivery. They are not thinking about the value that the business should provide. They are not thinking about service and quality of service. And so they do things with a sub-quality, little quality, no originality in the things they do. They use substandard products. They do a lot of things that hamper and affect their growth, even in business, even in leadership. A leader's motive is the underlying reason or purpose that drives their actions and decisions. The motive of the leader is the underlying basis that drives actions, that drives your motive. Now, according to Patrick Lencioni, in his book, The Motive, now he shared that there are two motives that drives people to become a leader. I'm going to be sharing a lot of insight from the book, The Motive by Patrick Lencioni. Is one of the great strategies that I have seen, one that believes in organization culture. And he believes in the culture of trust, in the culture of value systems. And he also speaks and he challenges leaders in a lot of his books that he has written. Now, first motive that Patrick Lencioni shared in the book, The Motive, talks about the reason why leaders are leading is that they want to serve others. They want to do whatever is necessary to bring about something good for the people they lead. They understand that sacrifice is inevitable in the leadership. and that serving others is the only valid motivation for leadership. This category of people are driven by clear organization mission and goals, and they empower their team and all stakeholders to accomplish their goals. Are you that kind of a leader? If you are that kind of a leader that Patrick Lencioni has just defined, which I'm just sharing, you are known and your motive is called the responsibility-centered leader. So we have the first kind of leaders are leaders that are called responsibility-centered leaders. Who are these leaders? These kind of leaders, they have a genuine desire to help and support others. They understand that in leading is not just about them. It's about the organization, it's about the team. They understand that you cannot lead without help, without sacrifice, without giving your all. They are servant leaders. They are charismatic leaders. They understand the virtues and what is required of them. They have honesty, integrity in them. They have a strong belief in the organization mission, and they remain passionate to contribute to the success of their team and organization. This set of leaders are guided by two principles. Number one principle that a responsibility-centered leader is guided by is the principle of accountability. They are ready to be held accountable and nothing to hide. They have an open book. When you give them feedback, they accept it. They are ready to change and improve. There is that passion for improvement and continuous growth. And the second principles that these kind of leaders have is that they are stewards. Stewardship is known to them. Their stewardship is real and not fake and deceptive. That's who they are. Now, the second basic reason, and please, I just want my audience, if you are beginning to have questions, you have comments, kindly just drop them on the chat box. I'm going to be looking into that. And I want to make this engaging. So please, if you have points also that you want, I'm going to give room for people to share, because we have many leaders amongst us here in different fields, and I want everyone to contribute. So please prepare your questions, prepare your contributions. Let's make this engaging. Yeah. The second basic reason why people choose to be a leader is for them to be rewarded. They see leadership as the prize for years of work and are drawn to its trappings. They are drawn to the attention, to the status, power, influence, money. They never become leaders for the purpose of service. Are you that kind of a leader? What is your motive in leading? Why are you leading? Is your motive centered around the reward that comes with leadership? Oh, I am now the director. Oh, I am now the country leadership. Oh, I am now the president. I am now the CEO. Is that your motive to becoming a leader, which is guided by the reward, the influence, the power, the authority, the money, the benefit that comes to the leadership, but not ready to take responsibility of what that position has embedded in you? Unfortunately, we have many in these categories. Their goal is to become their goal as a leader is to have a desire to control and influence others and to make decisions for others to carry it out. They want to have authority. They do things their own way. They are passionate to achieve success for self-glory and ready to pull anyone down who they see as a threat towards their leadership ambition, which is centered on their personal interest against the interest of the organization. They can pull anybody down. If you don't want them to achieve greatness, they will pull you down because they are centered leaders. They go alone. They don't carry people along. Are you that kind of a leader? A centered lead, reward-centered leader, not focused on bringing others and making impact into others' life. These kind of leaders are known as the reward-centered leaders. When you do a deep analysis of every leader, you can easily determine which categories they fall into. Even when they are passionate in leadership, check very well. There is an underlying motive behind it, which is for personal interest. It is all about them, and they are never considering others. Are you that kind of a leader? Simon Sinek, he said something, and I just thought to share it. He said, if your action inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are a leader. I take that again. Simon Sinek said, if your action inspire others to dream more, to do more, to learn more, and to become more, you are a leader. It's not about you. It's about others. Is your leadership raising others? Is your leadership making others to do more? Is your leadership helping others to strive? Is your leadership helping others to accomplish the best of them, to bring the best out of them? If you cannot answer this, then your leadership is questionable. Unfortunately, the reward-centered leaders are inspired by their dreams only, and they never care how others are fulfilling their goals. When they support others in their goal, there is something behind it and which is all about to benefit just them. When leaders are motivated by personal reward, they will avoid the unpleasant situations, responsibilities, and activities that leadership requires. They will calculate the personal economics of uncomfortable and tedious responsibilities that only leaders can do, but many will try to avoid them. Why? Because they are reward-centered leaders. The self-centered leaders are all after comfort, not ready to work, but use organization time and money for vacation, for enjoyment. Sometimes, even while in the office, they are not engaging in productive tasks with their team. There is no creativity. There is no problem solving. They are just in the office and just checking and marking register. No impact, no input. When an idea is brought to them by any team member, or even in their business, or even in the community, even in the church, even in the ministries, when ideas are brought, they reject it because they are not committed to invest their time and effort for the idea to materialize. That's the challenge with a reward-centered leader. This inevitably leaves the people or followers of those leaders to be without direction. And unfortunately, we have many people today that they have leaders that they don't have direction based on how those leaders are leading them. There is no guidance and there is no protection, which eventually hurts those people and the organization as a whole. Sometimes people will express their disbelief as to how their leaders could have been so negligent and irresponsible. Yet, it makes perfect sense in the light of the leader or either him or her in terms of their motive as to why they became a leader. They don't care. And if you check many of these people, they don't care. Your thought does not change them. Don't change them. Your reaction, they don't care. It is time for us to expose reward-centered leadership for what it is and to help every one of us as leaders to overcome it. Because when you lead well, it is for your good. It is for my good. And that is the purpose of this masterclass. The purpose of leadership is for your good first, before even any other person, if you are leading well. And to also make sure that they are serving and adding value to the organization and to people around them. If you are a leader, you are seriously doing yourself a disservice when you never care to lead right. The outcome of your reward-centered leadership would always affect you. I just want you to know that when your leadership is centered on you only, it has a negative impact. Please don't take up leadership responsibilities when you know you are not fit, not qualified to handle the required responsibility that comes with the job. Stop wishing for promotion when you are failing to build the right attitude, the right competence, and to gain masteries in your field. Don't ask for promotion when you are not ready to take responsibility. Don't get to the top when your goal is not to serve others. Please don't. And when you are not ready to bring others out, to bring the best out of others, you will just disgrace yourself and affect your reputation. Why do you want to get promoted when the motive of your promotion is not to serve others? How does a leader's motive played out in the organization? How does it impact the day-to-day activities of his or her work? How does your motive play out? How does it impact your day-to-day work? The answer have everything to do with the leader's behavior and their choices in the course of leadership. I just want you to know that. Let me also share that every one of us have a leadership potential in us, and we can become the best and the most valued leader in the world only if we choose and we are ready to pay the price for leadership. Many people are not ready to pay the price of leadership. They are not ready to stand for integrity and transparency. They are not ready to be disliked by their colleagues, subordinates, and superiors. They are not ready to have difficult conversation with their team, to hold people accountable and even themselves accountable. They lack the genuine act and courage to do it. They don't want you to feel that they are weak and vulnerable. They are reactive and they are not proactive. They are too nice to the extent that they negatively even hurt them. How can you be too nice to the extent that you are hurting yourself as a result of you not leading well? I am telling you, look, everything I'm sharing here with every due respect, I'm telling you from experience, from lessons, from things I have seen, from experiences I have encountered, how people are failing on leadership. People are not ready to be vulnerable, even in the space of their weakness, and admit to their weakness and begin to walk right towards leading the right way. People are not ready to seek for help. Leaders are not ready to hold people accountable. They allow processes and systems to be abused just for the sake of managing friendship and ego. Are you that kind of a leader? This is a call to action to many of us, because if the world must change, if the nations must change, if that organization must change, it starts with you, it starts with me, it starts with each of us. How are you leading? Therefore, the main objectives of this masterclass is to share with you the challenges of a reward-centered leadership and why, as a leader or an emerging leader, you must avoid these challenges. So what are the challenges? So in this teaching today, I want to share with you what are the negative impact or the challenges when one is a reward-centered leader. And I don't want you to become that. So I want to expose you to the challenges or some of the signs that you can see, some of the omissions. And these are based on the book From the Motive by Patrick Lencioni. I just picked those 5 points. The number 1 point is that one of the challenge of a reward-centered leader is that they are failing to develop their leadership team. Many leaders are not ready to develop their winning team towards organizational effectiveness. In that your business, are you developing a team? Yeah, you may tell me, oh, it's a one-man business. No one-man business would ever strive and survive. If that business must grow, you must have a team. If that organization must excel, there has to be a team. Many reward-centered leaders, it's just about them, so they don't develop team. You see, the way you can assess a leader is by assessing their team. If a team is weak, that tells you how weak a leader is. You see, measuring the performance of a leader is very easy. It's the most easiest thing to do because the leader, you can see a leader as a result of those that are following the leader. When they are forced to develop a team, maybe as part of their KPIs, they transfer the responsibility of the team management to another person because they are not ready and committed to go through the pain in managing their team members towards results and the goals of the organization. If people on leadership team don't believe that the leader sees team development as one of or his or her most critical roles, one of the things I've seen is that people don't take the team serious. And the team is never going to be effective. When they notice that this leader is just all about himself, people will begin to live that same kind. And that's where you see a lot of negative challenges within organizations, within systems, within ministries, and many more. Leaders often realize that effective team building requires the right intentionality and sacrifice to bring the best out of the team towards achieving the organization's success. Many reward-centered leaders, they do not want anybody to question their actions and will rather have inefficient people with low skills and competence in their team in order to dominate them and make sure every of their decision is accepted with no objection. Are you that kind of a leader that you are domineering? You intentionally create a weak team so that every of your team don't edge above you. Many people are threatened when they have excellent team members among them. Why? Because they are reward-centered leaders. When a leader fails to build a strong team, it leads to adverse effects on the performance and growth of the organization. And some of the adverse effects or challenges are: one, there is ineffective decision making, which hinders the progress, and zero responses to challenges. I'm telling you the truth. When a leader is failing to build a team, decisions are made by wrongly. The leader will just be the one making decisions, and many of those decisions will be wrong decisions. It will not produce the best of outcome and results. Number two, there will be limited diversity of ideas. If as a leader, you are the Alpha and the Omega, as the Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All, nobody knows it other than you. I pity your leadership. And that is the challenge we have today. Because that leader is already heading to a disaster. Your ability to have a diverse kind of mindset around you creates a safety space and reduces risks because other people can bring opinion with valuable input and innovative solutions. Can I be honest with us? Never you have a team that everybody is saying yes to your ideas. If you have that kind of a team, then you are not leading well. If nobody can question you as a leader on your leadership decisions, then you are not having the best team. I'm telling you the truth. Because if everybody is telling you yes to your idea, it means your idea would not lead them to the best way. Why? Because there is nobody that has the iota of knowledge. There is nobody. When you have a diverse team, people come with different opinions, different backgrounds, different experiences. And when all of this is harmonized, it helps the organization to thrive. It helps you to identify the risks, the pitfalls, the challenges. But many people, it is yes, sir, yes, ma'am kind of leadership they want. They are not ready to have diverse teams. The third challenge is that there is stagnancy and resistance to change because the leader will not want to accept other people's opinion or even feel threatened, and the organization will remain stagnated as a result of that leader's action. It will also be difficult to achieve the goals of the organization. Again, another point, there would be inefficient use of the resources of the organization, leading to waste of human resources and financial resources. Many leaders are wasting organizational resources because of their centered kind of leadership. It also leads to negative impact on the leader's credibility and future growth. You can either rethink your attitude about team building and embrace it as the practical, indispensable discipline that it is, or you can accept that the organization you lead will never come close to reaching its full potential and that your team members will suffer unnecessarily. So my encouragement to you this evening is that please be a leader that builds a team and let the team function effectively. Don't be a reward-centered leader that fails in building his or her team. The number 2 talks about another challenge of a reward-centered leaders. They are not committed to lead their subordinates and making them lead their own subordinates also. They are not committed to leading others. A true leader is known by the impact he has with those under him. They show commitment to lead their subordinates well. They provide every platform for the subordinate to succeed. They make sure that they empower their team. They empower their subordinate to strive for excellence. They challenge them. But unfortunately, reward-centered leaders, when they see their subordinate as a threat, so they would do everything for that person not to learn the job. Leading your subordinates is about helping them set the general direction of their work, ensuring that it is aligned with and understood by their peers, and staying informed enough to identify potential obstacles and problems as early as possible. It is also about coaching leaders to improve themselves behaviorally, to make it more likely that they will succeed. Helping your subordinate to become producers and to reproduce others and empower them to achieve the goals of the organization. Are you reproducing leaders? Are you reproducing others? Check yourself as a leader. How are you managing your subordinate? If you go on leave today, if you're out of the office, can the organization operate effectively without you? You as a business owner, the one, you have your shop, you have your trading business. If you are not there today, can your business survive? Or people are going to eat up the business. Why? Because you're not leading well. Because you have failed to put the right structures and systems in place. Many leaders, they like it that even when they are away, everything goes down. Nothing functions well. Nothing goes well if the leader is not there. No, that's a centered kind of leadership, reward-centered kind of leadership, which is very wrong. And I'm going to encourage you not to have those kind of reactions around you. Managing involves having your team to respect the culture of organization and committed to upholding organizational values in their day-to-day activities. Below are the consequences when leaders fail to manage their subordinates effectively. There is decreased morale by their subordinates. The morale goes down because they are not managing them well. The subordinates are not giving their best. They just feel that, oh, I'm just here. Let me be taking the salary or find a time and I leave. Morale is decreased. Due to also the decreased morale, subordinate productivity is decreased. Deadlines are missed. there is low quality standard, there is low productivity, there is low excellent performance. Number 3, good employees and clients, even customers, they leave the organizations because they know that, oh, this person is not handling the business well. He's not taking the business serious. The goal of the organization is misaligned. There is burnout and stress because the subordinate does not even have clarity of their work. So they are just overburdened with work. Do this today. Oh, that's not what you should do. Do it again tomorrow. So there is burnout. There is the self-center, the reward center leader, because they will not do anything. So even their own responsibility, they hand it over to their subordinate and they will not guide them in doing the job well. Now, I want you to check yourself and ask yourself this question: that do you believe that providing individual guidance and coaching to your people is somehow beneath you or not worth your time? If you are that kind of a leader, please check yourself. Number 3, challenges of a reward-centered leader. Please be dropping your questions, your comments. We're going to take that. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Number 3 says they are not willing to have difficult and uncomfortable conversation. This is one of the major challenges of leaders. And can I be honest with you? I have seen this, many leaders have this major challenge in them. They are not ready to have uncomfortable conversation with their teams. One of the main responsibilities of a leader is to confront difficult, awkward issues quickly and with clarity and to resolve it. What kind of issues? Everything from a team member's annoying mannerism or poisonous interpersonal dynamics and politics in the office. Everything that has to do with insubordination, lack of people adhering to the values and culture of the organization. People are abusing privileges and opportunities. And we see leaders keeping quiet. And they are not talking about it, even when they see it. Leaders will definitely have situations in their lives that require tough decisions, or even to have a difficult conversation with their team members over issues that, if not quickly addressed, may lead to significant impact. Yet, when leaders avoid those situations, they jeopardize the success of the team and the organization as a whole. Sometimes the issues may even be with your team, where people are not good or they are not having a good working relationship. You must be observant and engage them quickly and fix it. Because if you don't, a little smoke may become a wildfire that will consume all team members, including you as the leaders. There are times that you see some rancors among your team members. Quickly fix it. And I do this. Some few months ago, I noticed some things going on within my team. I had to quickly call them and I say, hey guys, let's fix this now. I'm noticing A, B, C, and D among you guys. What's going on? Let's fix this. Because as a leader, you cannot be blind and not being observant. Many leaders are blind. Many leaders don't care. They lack sensitivity. It's just they come in, they stay in their office, they lock the door. They don't even mind what is going on within the organization. They lack the relationship and one-to-one engagement to the extent that the lower person in that organization can even come up to them when there are issues. I'm telling you, you need to create those kind of platforms if you are not doing that. Platform that people can trust you. Now, we are not promoting gossip, but we are saying that people should be able to open up to you. And when they do, you should be able to have difficult conversation with your team members towards aligning them to the structure and to the systems of the organization. Many are failing today, including our religious leaders, is unfortunately, including our political leaders. Many are failing. in having tough conversation with people towards aligning them to the right leadership. I can be honest with you. The best you can do is that you may not like me, but I will do the best to tell you the truth. Because I know I am doing good to you when I do. And I also expect the same to be reciprocated to me. If we don't call each other to order, I'm telling you the truth, we will mess up. And this is why you see during the week I dropped some questions on the James Oluwole leadership WhatsApp group. And I was asking that who holds us accountable? Who do you have around you that holds you accountable? And I was excited. I think one of us was sharing that the wife holds him accountable. And he is so happy about it. That tells you, because listen, particularly when you are holding a leadership position, I just want you to know this, that position is temptation. If you have nobody checking you and having difficult conversation for your good, difficult feedback, I'm telling you, they are not helping you. And if you as a leader, you are not also doing the same to others, you are not helping them. A difficult conversation could be to be honest about the main cause of organization's growth, which may be due to systems or strategies that is not working. And no one is willing to show courage to address it because the strategy was introduced by the leader. Many good employees have resigned from great companies because of poor leaders who can't manage their team. Are you that kind of person? That good staffs, good employees, I have seen great staffs leaving an organization because leaders fail to do the right thing. Things were going wrong, and the leaders noticed and they weren't fixing it. And those people felt that, no, we are not safe. I have seen a situation where a staff, out of the objectivity and sincerity and respect of the organization, open up some anomalies that was being done by the other colleagues. And rather than the leader protecting that staff, they rather got angry with the staff. And that staff had to resign. And that problem escalated, resulting to some increasing number of fraudulent acts in that department. I have seen many things. I have seen a lot in my little years of experience, and I know you also have the same stories. And this is even in ministries, in churches. As I said, I'm a church person. When I see how people are managing the resources of the church, when I see how people are not holding people accountable, when people are not doing the right thing and leaders are failing to call people to order, it worries us. Because it speaks more about your motive about leadership. What is your motive? What is my motive? In that your community, are you the person that will see things going wrong and you are not ready to confront it, even among your neighbors, telling them that this is wrong? Why are you leading? If you know that you are not ready to, then please don't lead. Don't take up the responsibility. Failing to confront people quickly about small issues is a guarantee that it will become a big issue. And I just want you to understand that there are underlying reasons that most people avoid difficult conversations because it is embarrassing and it is awkward. We will not be able to finish this teaching today, so definitely we'll have the part 2 of this. I will just finish on this point 3, and then we'll take questions. There is nothing comfortable about turning to a man or woman whom you know, someone who is of a similar age to you and who is talented in their own right, and telling them something that makes them feel momentarily bad. We know it's difficult. We know it's not easy, but please learn it. I'm telling you, if you learn to have good feedback to people and you also accept good feedback, it will help you a lot. Difficult conversation, many leaders, particularly reward center leader, they tell you, I don't care. Whatever that happens is none of my business. As long as I get my own stuff, that's all. Would you rather learn to live with a person's difficult behavior than endure an awkward, potentially emotional discussion with them? Do you find yourself venting about your direct reports, behavioral issues, rather than talking with them directly, how do you react? When one fails to have a difficult conversation at the right time, below are the possible challenge. One, there is increased misunderstanding and there is gossip. So if there is gossip and misunderstanding, it's because you are not having conversations. You are not having difficult conversation. It leads to misunderstanding and gossip. And this is why one of my teachers has said, when gossip thrives in any system, in any organization, that leader is a weak leader. I'm telling you, and particularly when a leader is getting angry that people are gossiping, it tells you how weak you are, because if you address that, gossip will reduce. I'm telling you, by communicating and by opening up. We are going to see other points here that speaks about communication. Number two, because there is no difficult conversation, trust is decreased. Because people that they feel unhappy, they feel that no, their issues have not been addressed. So trust is decreased. They see you as a leader that no, you can't be trusted. It creates a toxic environment when a leader is not addressing difficult situations and uncomfortable situations within the organization. Because see, I just want you to know that there is no perfect organization. There is no perfect system. You can never have a perfect system. So for you to be in a system and you think everything would be normal, it's a lie. It's a lie. So stop celebrating mediocrity and failure. Admit that there is weakness within the team, and let's call each other to action and fix it. Stop making people feel that they are fine when you know in reality they are not. No, let's stop that. Number four, growth is affected when there is no difficult conversation, because people are not able to know where they need to improve and realign themselves to the right things. Number five, there is ineffective team dynamics. There is delay in problem solving, and the credibility of the leader and the reputation of the leader is affected. I will pause here and would like to take questions. Thank you. Questions, please. Either from WhatsApp, either from Zoom. Let me try to allow people to unmute themselves. Yeah. Okay, so I think you can unmute yourself. So please, if you have a question on Zoom, either you drop it on WhatsApp, kindly ask your question so that we can engage much on this. And if not, then I can add one more point before we wrap up the day. Any question? Okay, I think participant, you can unmute yourself now. Sorry. Okay, I see a question from Mr. Okay, a comment from Mr. Thomas. He said, "Thank you, sir, for leadership section. Please, I want to know how I can overcome this familiarity spirit from my team without relying on my position to influence them to focus on the vision and the mission of the organization." Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Please, if you have a question, kindly drop if you want to ask, and you can raise your hand. I have given you access to unmute yourself to ask your questions. Please, let's make it engaging. And if you also want to contribute on this, please, you have an opportunity to contribute. We will appreciate to have your feedback or your experience. How are you leading? What do you need? What additional help do you need? Just like Mr. Thomas have asked his question. Many of us, you have a story to share. Don't just make this a James thing. I want you also to participate. I have a lot of leaders. I don't want to call your names, but in your space also you are leading. You have experiences. We would love to learn and also hear from you. So kindly give us your own contribution, please. But just to address Mr. Thomas' question. Now, and his question is how to overcome familiarity and the familiarity spirit with the team, and also making sure that it influences them to focus on the vision and the mission of the organization. Now, let me tell you, let me share this, that you know, one of the quality of a leader is that people must trust you. People must value you as a leader so that before they can follow you. And as a leader, it is important that you have this as part of your quality. So having the relationship with your team, having the familiarity with your team, it's not a bad idea. It's a good one. But there has to be boundaries, and those expectations needs to be set clearly, even from the beginning. The expectations needs to be set clearly from the beginning so that your team understand what are the boundaries in your leadership and in your engagement with them. They need to know that no matter the level of the relationship you have with them, we cannot stop achieving the result. The result is critical. They need to understand that the objective and the vision of the organization is key. So you must be able to and you know, you have to tell them this, that look, you know, we are colleagues, I'm your friend, but when we need to have a difficult conversation, please know that we will. And the reason I'm going to having this difficult conversation with you is because we need to achieve A, B, C, and D. So let them know ahead of time that there are going to be tough moments where we are going to call each other out and we're going to engage each other. I just want you to know now. So be willing to be open. As I keep saying, there can't be a system that you feel that the system will run smoothly and there will not be challenges. People, including you, we may slip over. We may just miss some things. So it's important as a leader for you to know that. So your ability to set the boundaries, set the expectations, let your expectations be clear from the beginning that this and that is how you are going to approach this. The fact that we have good relationships, the fact that I want you people to see me as an open leader, you can come to me, but please understand that we are going to be setting ourselves towards success. And we are going to be holding each other accountable to achieve our goals. I hope I addressed your question, Mr. Thomas. Thank you. Any other person, please, if your hand is raised, is there anyone who's answering? Okay, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. James.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, Desire here, Mr. James. Thank you so much for the lesson. You talked about having difficult conversations, but I want to make this question on the perspective. Let's say that I'm not a leader. How do you have difficult conversations when you know that your leader is someone who has that attitude whereby he's like, I know everything and everything should be my own way? So how do you have this type of difficult conversation? Because I think it is easier when a leader is speaking to their team because they're in a position of listening and turning that information. But now you, as somebody who's under your leader, having to have a difficult conversation. Let's say you are saying to them that no, this is wrong, or maybe you want to share to them that maybe the intake that they are looking at is not the best possible at that moment. So how do you have that difficult conversation when you know that your leader might be somebody who's very difficult to interact with?
Thank you for the question, Desire. Now, I just want, and we have these challenges, that's why first, the atmosphere of the organization is key. There are some leaders that they are, as a result of their personality, they hate it, they dislike it when you engage them or you call them out. Now, you need to understand that kind of an environment and you need to understand that kind of a leader, but this is what I do. I try to also set an expectation to the leader. So I made the leader aware that, sir, with all due respect, if I see something that is not going well, I'm going to reach out to you. Just the same way I expect the leader to tell me the same thing. Just like my comment to Mr. Thomas. So it's the same way. Now, there are a few things. Some leaders, they sometimes, out of ego, out of pride, out of respect, some leaders will want you to give them feedback privately. I have seen that. Some leaders are okay, you give them feedback publicly. So you need to know your leader. You need to know your supervisor, what kind of person he or she is. Are they the kind of leaders, are they the kind of supervisors that they would rather want to have a private engagement, or they would rather want to have a more deeper conversation publicly in terms of feedback? So you need to understand them. Now, but no matter what it is, never shy away from giving a leader a feedback, please. The key aspect is, and let the leader know that you are bringing this issue up for the purpose of improvement. It's not for the purpose of calling the leader out, but rather it's for the purpose of improvement. Because a leader that is ready to improve would admit to the fact, that, okay, thank you for this. And sometimes, even if a leader has a justified reasons why those actions are taken, the leader should at least agree to the fact that this feedback is accepted, so that he or she can give opportunity again for that person to feel okay, to bring feedbacks many times. But you see, the problem we have is that many leaders don't even want to create that platforms. So what I'm going to ask is that when you find yourself in that situation, set the expectation ahead of time. Let the leader know that, sir, I love a leader that calls me to action. I love a leader that gives me feedback. And sir, please, if I see something that I feel you should improve as a leader, please, sir or ma, I would also do the same. And I'm doing it, and I just want you to know, I'm not doing it to bring you down or to disrespect you. I am doing it so that we can be the best of each other, because I need to watch your back for you to succeed and for you to take this organization to the higher level. No common sense leader, no genuine leader you tell this, that he or she will not appreciate that. Thank you, Desire. I've seen the hand of also Pastor Femi's hand is raised up, our able doctor. So, sir, please, let's take your point before I take some question. There is also a question from Sunday Stephen. There's also a question from Kolan. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening, ma.
This is Dr. Damilola.
You're welcome, ma. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you
ma.
so much, sir. And thank you for the wonderful teaching, sir. Okay. We are grateful. Yes, this is my question. Okay, let me put it this way. In most cases, in an attempt to be an open and reward-driven leader, we tend to go out of our way to do certain things, which in the normal sense might not really be what is supposed to be done by the leader, so to say, because there are people delegated to certain operations that are supposed to carry out the duty, but because you are reward driven, you decide to go extra mile to do those things. And at the end of the day, we get the reward, we get the results, but we notice that in most cases, because you're down to earth and simple in some ways and open to the followers or the people you are leading, people tend to take you for granted, take the simplicity for granted. They abuse the openness of your relationship. Some go to some length in a way of disrespecting the leader in some ways. So I want to understand, what can you do in such a case, especially when we realize that most of the time when we leave that leadership post and another person take over, we see the way people respond. The way people respond, they become more serious because there's someone that has come into place that is harsh, that doesn't take nonsense, that call them to their duty post at all times. So we want to know if we need to change this openness and result-driven attitude is like a personality. We want to know what we can do that will make people not to take us for granted, and we appreciate the work you do over and over again. I will make some, like in some cases, some will think you are overdoing it. You are overdoing it. You don't allow them to do their job. And if you leave them to do their job, you come up with a flop, because they are not result driven, and they might not they might not be after the result like you, like the goal setter. They might not be after the goal or the result like you. So we want to know what we can do in such cases, that people wouldn't look down on you. People wouldn't think that you are taking their position, whereas what you are only looking after is how to get the result at the end of the day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ma. And I mean, the question you just asked is, is among a lot of the challenges that we see in organization, where people have an ownership mentality. They feel that this is their space. They feel that it is their right, and nobody, can move them off from it. They feel that they are very influential, and they want to have their own way. But let me address this, that the first part I would encourage many of us as leaders to do is we have to set the expectation right from the beginning. From the beginning, the expectations has to be right. And when I mean the expectation has to be right, is that there has to be clear mandates, clear responsibilities or functions that you want that person to achieve, clear indications of what is the expected goals. For instance, if somebody is performing, I'm just giving a very basic example. Let's say somebody is performing or an ability to reach numbers of clients, and in a month, the person is supposed to close 3, 4, 5 deals of a client. Is the person closing the deals? So if the person is not closing the deals, what number of attempts has this person made? Now, the second part is that what resources, what training have we provided to this person to carry out their responsibilities very well? Is the person even competent? You see, one of the challenges I've seen in leadership is, and it took us time when I was in Ghana for us to learn this, and I started adopting that, is the first thing we must do is that we don't put people on a position because we like them. No. We put people on a position because they can do the job. It is who can do the job. And it has nothing to do with the number of years of service. It has nothing to do with how low, to the extent of how loyal or the person could be. Can the person do the job? So the first responsibility, is that we have to get the right people on the right seat. Our ability to have the right people on the right seat will reduce our challenge. Now, where you have people on a seat or on a position that they are not performing well, let them know that there are going to be appraisers, and let them know that you love them. And the reason these appraisals are happening is not because we don't like you. It's not because we are saying you are not fit in this, it's just because we have noticed that you are not doing A, B, C, and D, and there are low expectations in terms of your deliverables. So we feel that probably this person can do another thing. And one thing I've come to realize is that when we dig deep and we do a better analysis of every team member that we have, many of them, they have their areas of strength. They may not have strength in closing a deal, but they may have a strength in organizing folders, in organizing files, in doing other things. They may have another strength in reaching out to people, in doing something else. So let's find the right people and put them on the right seat. And where we are still having challenges, let's make sure that people understand that, look, if we are not performing, because it is a goal of the organization, the goal of the organization is bigger than our goals, is bigger than my goal. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the organization. Is this team functioning well? If we know that there is another person that can do it better, please, can you step aside? There are some people that when you put them in a position, it is problem. They don't have peace, no peace from one fight to the other. You have a responsibility either to train them to say no. If you are leading people, know how to manage people, know how to talk to people, respect people, value people, do this, do that. And now when you give all of those support and yet that person is not improving, let the person know. And honestly, don't ever feel scared to remove somebody that is not performing. Even if they will leave a system, it's fine. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen organizations and people and leaders have done is that they allow the wrong person too long in an organization or in a position, and that person became a cancer that has affected every other. They are like a toxic, they are like a poison, and that poison spread. Please, let's be guided by that risk. I'm being very objective. When people feel that they are not ready to learn and to submit towards the right guidance, let's build the courage to fix them. And let's do it out of love. Let's do it out of kindness. Let's do it with respect, and let them know that I love you, but please, for the sake of the growth of this organization, for the sake of the growth of this ministry, for the sake of the growth of God's work, I am sorry we have to make this decision. Please step aside. Let's be bold enough to do that. Yes, I hope I addressed your question, ma'am. So having people in the right seat, setting the expectations ahead of time, and even when all of this has been done, if there are still challenges, let's be bold enough to address it, provide them capacity development where required, and if they are not, let's be bold enough to move them aside and still give them another responsibility. Just for the sake of time, I will take the question from Sunday Stephen. He says, I think Sunday Stephen's question is also similar on Zoom. He says, please, how do I overcome a star who is the best in his field? I think it's the star he wants to say, I guess. But he has made him, but he misbehaved over time because he knows we don't have more competent staff like him at the moment. This is the problem. You see, when you make somebody feel that he is so important. Now, I am one that celebrates people. I celebrate people when people are doing well. But there is something I used to tell anybody, including myself. I tell myself and I tell people that work with me that nobody is indispensable. Never you think that you are the all and all. Without you, an organization cannot succeed. So please, sir, you have to make that person understand. And secondly, this is also a challenge to you that grow a team, grow people. Let the team be able to have somebody that can able to do their work so that when they are not there, there will not be gaps, there will not be loopholes. And let people know that, look, you have a privilege of performing these tasks, you have a privilege of performing this work, but please know that there is no one, including myself, that is indispensable. So no matter the value, no matter your competence, no matter your excellence, if you're not ready to show respect, if you're not ready to follow through the values and the culture of the organization, we cannot accept a bad attitude. No matter how competent you can be, never you keep somebody that is very good but has a bad attitude. Attitude is the major thing because attitude will affect the culture of the organization, it will affect the value system. And when other colleagues begin to see this staff as an untouchable staff of the boss, and the person is misbehaving, I tell you that business will not go far. So please have the courage to address that person's behavior. And if they are not ready, be willing to let them go. And I'm assuring you that you will get another replacement. I'm telling you, just build a system and structures. Let's allow our systems and structures to function well and to be more respected and to be more valued than any other person. And people must understand that they have to respect the culture and the system of the organization. The question from Razak, it says, how do I overcome fear and act on issues on time before, is it before? Me, if I understand maybe how to overcome fear, you have to. If you're leading a team, Razak, if you're leading the people around you, please, you have to confront the issues. I've told you the challenges of not having a difficult conversation with people. It creates misunderstanding and gossip. Trust is decreased. The environment is toxic. There is increased tension and fear. Growth is affected. Ineffective team dynamics, because people will see that, oh, this one has a weakness. He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm telling you, so please learn to be able to face those challenges and build on it. Now, I also see a question from Samuel. They say, thank you, sir, for this wonderful submission, Mr. James. My question is, how does one work as both a leader and a follower in an organization, especially if they are not a loud type of leader, but expect you to be loud? Okay, let me take the question again. How does one work as both a leader and a follower in an organization, especially if they are not a loud type of leader, but expect you to be loud? Okay, so I don't understand the aspect of the loud type, but let me address the leadership part and the follower part. Now, as a leader, please understand that in an organization, every one of us, we are leaders. Whether you have a position or not, we are leaders. And just know that everyone, as much as you can influence people to do what you want them to do, you are leading them. So leading is about accomplishment of the goals of the organization and empowering people. Are you doing that? If you're doing that, then you are leading. Now, that you are leading does not mean somebody is not also leading you. And one of the things I'm going to advise, never follow a leader that doesn't have anybody that he or she is also following. So who are you following? Do your team knows you, that you have A, B, C, or D as your leader? Do your team knows you for that? Who do you follow? Who do you respect? Who do you speak about that you honor? Because each of us, even if you are the executive director of your company, even if you are the CEO of that organization, yet there are still mentors in that industry. There are still people in that industry that you still look that you can gain mastery from, you can gain mentorship for. So followership is critical, and you cannot lead if you are not also a good follower. No good leader can lead well except the person is a good follower. So you must leave that example. Now, the aspect of not leading loud, it depends on how, I don't know your definition of being loud, but let me say this. If you are leading, people must see your leadership. Your leadership cannot be hidden. Your leadership must be seen. Your leadership must be known. Your leadership must be felt. And when we say feeling your leadership, it's not by screaming. It's by you bringing the best. It's by you creating a solution. It's by you supporting a team. You know, I was doing something with a colleague earlier this week, and I was telling him that there is something we're going to do, a work on aging analysis, which was a request from our CEO in Canada. And I told him that by the time we do this analysis, there are some of the assumptions that you have created. I can tell you that this analysis is going to open up your eyes, and you're going to see it in a different perspective, you know. And over time, I was engaging him, I was supporting him, we were working together. And when we did that analysis, clearly, he could see it. It changed all the narrative, and I could see the excitement in him. And I could see it, and I supported the process all through. You know, so that is what, so a leader, your ability to lead is to impact people, is to make people know that, let them feel the leadership. Let people, you know, have you and their lives is transformed. Empower the team. It shouldn't just be you only. Empower them. Let them take responsibility. Let them take action. Let them lead ahead. And you are guiding them. I hope I addressed your question, Samuel. For the sake of time, we're already approaching time. I really want to thank everyone. I strongly believe that we've really had a great section today. I want to thank all of our Zoom participants joining from different parts of the world. Thank you so much for your time today. And also for those on WhatsApp, I also want to thank you. And the James Oluwole leadership would continue to offer value. I can tell you there are interesting topics ahead. Our next section in the next 2 weeks, we're going to do the part 2 of the leader's motive, and we're going to go deeper into becoming an effective leader. Please don't lead it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. In August, I'm going to be bringing some two important topics. I'm still cooking those topics. I'm still kind of nurturing those topics in my head and in my mind. But I can tell you, it's going to be an interesting topic. In my head, one of the topics I'm thinking around is everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything worthwhile is uphill. What does that mean? No matter what you want to achieve, there is a price to pay. I'm going to be treating that in August. Don't miss that series. I'm telling you. In August, I'm going to be treating another topic that what else should you do when you feel stuck, when you fail, when you get frustrated, when you get almost about to give up? What else should you do? I'm going to be treating that in August. There are going to be exciting engagement, practical, applicable life experiences that we'll be bringing on board. And I just want you to stay tuned. But please, my desire as I round up is this. Never you just being a learner without applying these things you're learning. You are going to be wasting your time and wasting an effort if all of this information that are coming to you are not impacting you, and we are not seeing the change in you. Please encourage yourself, develop that capacity. If you need to listen to these teachings over and over again, pick the lessons out of it, and let's begin to see a transformed person in you. Let's begin to see your leadership becoming more transformed. Let's begin to see all the teachings that we are sharing transforming us. And that is what because we are building ourselves. And I can assure you that in a few years' time, you are just going to be an excellent person all around. Thank you again for your time this evening. I sincerely want to appreciate everyone for joining. In fact, I'm seeing Mrs. Abigail saying she just gave birth a few days ago and she's joining this platform. That tells you the passion that someone that just delivered a baby is still joining. Thank you so much for joining the session today. I see a lot of people. Thank you, Blessing from Ghana, a former friend, a former colleague. Thank you so much. Mr. Ebenezer from UK. Thank you, Pastor Dr. Femi and Dr. Mrs. Femi. Thank you so much for joining. Bode Thomas, Mrs. Candy, Mrs. Oma. I see a lot of people. Hamida too. Thank you. Isaiah on WhatsApp. Cecilia. Wow, we've missed you, Cecilia. Thank you for coming. Felicia, thank you. Mommy Doctor, thank you so much for being here. A lot of people. Ibrahim, thank you. Kolan, thank you. Mary, thank you so much for being here. Najib and Desire has been. You're going to see the video today. We are doing well. So you're going to see an improvement again in the things we do. Thank you all. Please enjoy the best of that week. Enjoy the best of the day. Let's keep